Hi everyone, bit of a change of scenery this week. I thought I would pull up a chair in the front room. Nothing really to discuss in terms of shopping or post, apart from I did receive my copy of Ennismen. So again, I'm looking forward to the double bill of Bates and Ennismen. I've heard good things. Also, 2024 is the 70th anniversary of Godzilla. Obviously, the first Godzilla movie came out in 1954. So I am looking forward to trying to cover as many Godzilla and Kaiju movies as possible on my blog this year. So I'll put a link below. If people browse the blog and they click on things, I end up getting pennies. And the pennies have been pretty good in the past month or so. That I think helps me without necessarily costing you an arm and a leg. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it's good, and I appreciate all the visitors. I'm here with my MacBook because, as you may be able to tell, Letterboxd is here. It's the time of year when everyone's going on about the past year and their favourites and their least favourites. So I thought I would join in with that because it's a done thing. I think it's been a good year for cinema overall. I think it's been a good year for horror. I see people saying it's not been a good year for horror. I just cannot disagree more. If anything, I think it's been a bad year for comedy. There were only one or two comedies that stood out, and well, one of them is one of my favourites, but the kind of mainstream comedies were either few and far between or very disappointing to me, with the exception of maybe Joyride, I guess. Anyway, one of my top films. Let's have a browse. Killers of the Flower Moon is a masterpiece. Absolutely loved it. I think the 3.5 hour runtime actually flies by. Yeah, brilliant. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, animated masterpiece. Absolutely loved it. Saltburn. Everyone's talking about Saltburn. I think it's superb. I think if you are interested in something quite off kilter and dark and twisted, I think it will do the job for you. I think it's great, and yeah, uh, uh, another fantastic turn from Barry Keoghan. Past Lives is brilliant, and I encourage everyone to watch it. How to Have Sex is brilliant, and I encourage everyone to watch it. These are films that look at very different aspects of human nature and are equally good in different ways. Bottoms is hilarious, really, really funny, and yeah, that's one I got to quite late. Absolutely worthwhile. Loved Dream Scenario. I think Nick Cage is brilliant in it. It's a great film. It's fun. It's inventive. Shark Exploitation, the documentary about all the shark movies, that's brilliant. You can't mention one without the other. Barbenheimer, it's a sort of top movie event of the year. Rye Lane, you might have missed. That came out towards the start of the year. Nimona, the animated film that went on Netflix. Let's see, what else have I got here. I really still liked the latest Mission Impossible. I know some people were disappointed by it. I know it underperformed at the box office. I thought it was a great film. Polite Society is fantastic. Renfield, still the Michael J. Fox documentary. That's well worth seeking out if you can. We covered it on the podcast Asteroid City recently. I really liked that. Cat Person, Blackberry. What else have I got here? Passages. I loved The Killer. I thought it was very funny, and I don't think everyone thought it was funny. I really enjoyed the humor of The Killer. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem was great. Suitable Flesh, When Evil Lurks, that's a couple of good horror movies there. I've seen people be not necessarily sniffy, but they're happy to pick some top horrors without picking any franchise titles. They quite rightly, they're promoting a good year for original horror content. and that's great. But I also really liked Scream 6 and Evil Dead Rise. And considering I hadn't liked Scream 5, the one they just call Scream, I was so surprised by Scream 6, which has the best opening in the series, second only to the original film. Absolutely fantastic. And Evil Dead Rise, I was just blown away by it. I think it's I think it's a better film than the 2013 film. So I thought it was great. In terms of other slightly lesser known horror movies, I'm just going through my list here. Perpetrator was a really good one. I recommend that. Bad Things, I think both of those are still on Shudder, I think. From Black, I really liked as well. So there's something for everyone in terms of the content you already know and love and the new stuff that's out there. Let's go to the other end though. I've had enough of being positive. Let's see what's the bad ones were that I mentioned. Oh, there's stuff there that I haven't rated either. Oh, I only recently saw The Creator and I really liked it. And I mention it because I know Tyler really liked The Creator. So that is, I think that's coming to Disney Plus here in the UK in about 2 weeks. Really, really worthwhile. So the worst ones. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's dire. Cocaine Shark. Cocaine Shark is dire, but at least had moments that made me laugh. I don't think they were intended to make me laugh, and the people that made Cocaine Shark are working with a budget of like £10. So some people will give them way more leeway and absolutely love it. I didn't. Cocaine Shark was a terrible movie, but it's kind of endearing in its goofiness. The Exorcist Believer is, it's made by people who completely misunderstood The Exorcist. Now, I've heard most people agree with me. I've heard some people who liked it and some people who have preferred it to the original film. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, so that's fine because that's their opinion. I would just say that it's a very similar situation to Blair Witch, which some people ended up enjoying more than the Blair Witch Project and saying that's what they wanted from, all these years. That's it. Whereas for me, the Blair Witch is everything that I didn't want any follow-up to the Blair Witch Project to be. For as flawed as it is and for as divisive as it is, I still love Book of Shadows, Blair Witch Project 2, because it's such a left turn. And rather than just redo the same concept but with different technology or some attempts to modernize a couple of the jumps, it really just stayed its own thing. And I'm going off track here, I'm sorry. Exorcist Believer for me is that equivalent to The Exorcist, and that is the difference. I mean, it's leagues in difference. It's fresh in my mind now because I've just finished reading the Mark Kermode BFI Exorcist book, which is a really smart and thorough breakdown of the film and brings out more details that you maybe wouldn't even have considered while watching it many times yourself. Whether or not they're a stretch or they're all clearly there and were planned is another matter. But it's a great read and gives you just fresh appreciation of a classic. What else have we got here? I've even forgotten what is that. Oh no, I remember. We Have a Ghost and The Mother, both on Netflix, both not very good. Hypnotic, just so bad, but worth watching so that you can then listen to the episode of How Did This Get Made about it. So I recommend it for that reason. Black Demon was a really poor shark movie. Robots was a really weak comedy with Jack Whitehall in a main role. I mean, he's not a very good leading man. Quicksand wasn't great. Heart of Stone was another. I think was that another Netflix one. A lot of people liked The Boogeyman. I did not like The Boogeyman. No, it's arguably worse than the older Ghost House Pictures Boogeyman movies. Not good. And finally, I'll end with The Meg 2, The Trench. No, I couldn't get on board with that. It's you have to have something in your film that clues me in on what kind of world you're working in, whether it is a fantastical environment, whether we're well into the realm of sci-fi, or we are just completely grounded, or grounded with some touches here and there that mean you can get away with wherever the plot needs to go. The Meg 2 didn't do that, and anyone who's seen it will know what I mean when I mention Jason Statham swimming around to open a different doorway. That's all I'll say. And at that point, I was tapped out of The Meg 2. There's some fun to be had in the final act, but it wasn't good. Anyway, let me know your recommendations. Let me know any major omissions. The ones I've not yet seen this year that I really wanted to catch were Beau is Afraid. What was the other one? Oh, Slaughterhouse, which could be dire, but I'm dying to see it for the pun. And not yet seen Wonka. That's still quite new. Can't recall. I think like I saw a lot of what I wanted to see. So, you know, it's always good though to get recommendations from stuff that was maybe at festivals and stuff that's much lesser known. So please let me know, and let me know if you agree or disagree too much with some of the films I mentioned, especially my ongoing support of the last Mission Impossible film and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which I had a really good time with at the cinema. I know the de-aging isn't perfect. There were some moments there where it was great, and there were some moments where I was like, whoa. But I thought overall that was a great action adventure movie that gave me enough Indiana Jones fun. That's it. Yeah, please hit buttons, like, subscribe, rate things all over the internet. We're on 185 subscribers now. To get up to 200 would be a delightful way to start a new year. I know the views have been creeping up. I thank you all. I hope you had an enjoyable weekend. Happy New Year and all that. Don't bother with resolutions. Just bother about getting through the day, getting through the week, the month, and the year ahead. Take care.